Do we need men?
Yes.
Starting with you, going around the table.
Do I need a man? No. Does the world need him? The world needs people.
Into the mic.
Humans, people in general. Do I personally need a man? No. Does the world need women, men alike? Yeah.
So you don't need a man romantically, but you need men in other ways.
Me? No. Me personally, are you asking me personally, do I feel like I need a man at any point in my life? Not romantically, but do you need men? Me? No.
But, well, if the world and society needs men, don't you two need men? As you are a...
I am completely okay with going off-grid, living on an island in peace.
How would you get to the island?
Build a boat.
You would build the boat yourself?
Yeah.
Which island are you... There's the Channel Islands out here. You would go to those islands, or which island in particular?
Wherever my boat takes me.
Would you take an airplane to get to the island?
Probably not, because I don't have a license to fly it.
Just a question. So you'd build a boat. You'd build a boat. Where would you get the materials to build the boat? Like Home Depot?
Chop down trees.
You would chop down trees.
Why not?
With what tool?
Chainsaw queen.
You
can operate a chainsaw.
You can make.
You don't need muscles to operate that shit. That is a muscle for you.
Ride some stone down, sharpen it.
You would make the axe yourself?
I would do whatever I needed to.
You wouldn't just go buy it at Home Depot?
No.
So just to be clear, where would you get the metal from? Would you smelt the metal yourself too?
You don't necessarily need metal.
To make... Okay.
You can build a wooden boat.
No. I'm talking...
Might not get very far because the wood will get...
I'm sorry, is metal not a component of an axe?
You don't necessarily need a metal axe.
No.
But you said you would get an axe.
If I had to make one with the materials I had available to me...
You'd cut down a tree.
Would you rather I gnaw at it?
What do you mean? You just look.
Castaway moment.
You're saying you don't need men, and you would just go live on an island by yourself. But how would you get there?
An island, a mountain, a cave. It doesn't... I'm not...
Are you insinuating that women
island.
can't arrive at an island without a man's help? Why can't we get to an island without you? I don't understand that.
Well, I mean, she's saying she would build a boat, so I'm exploring.
Build a boat.
Why can't a
build a hut?
Well, I'll actually take it further. So I would postulate that absent men, and there was only women in society would be in free fall collapse within hours. Women do not and cannot. This is my claim, right? Even stronger than. Don't know how, but actually cannot maintain modern infrastructure. It's not even possible.
Why? I'm okay with living in a mud-built hut.
Yeah, I don't even think that they could do that easily. It's because of the way that our bone structures are set, and then the way that we regulate our body temperature. So you would probably say, if you were to look at the scope of women who are in the workplace who make complaints a lot of times what they complain about is the temperature. And they say, well, in a gendered scope, this isn't really fair because we tend to wear dresses and men tend to, wear suits and this kind of thing, right? So we're always cold. And but the truth is that even if they were in the same attire that you were in, they could still regulate the temperature of their bodies better. Men are less prone to take damage just on the work site, right? Building things, crafting things are less likely to take damage because of their bone density. I do not think that you could juxtapose or in some way take women and then have them take over men's jobs collectively, even if you gave them the same knowledge that those men had and that they could actually physically accomplish those.
Why can't I use my big, smart woman brain to build a robot to do the physical work for me that I can't do? That's what I'm saying. As long as I have the tools, my brain can figure out any puzzle. I just need access to the tools. You're right. I can't lift hundreds of pounds. But I can build a robot that can lift hundreds of pounds because I'm smart enough to figure it out.
It's just...
Wait, what? Of all the lifting that occurs when it comes to like construction or infrastructure, what percentage of that is done by robots?
Well. So hang on.
I don't know. I don't build things. But if I chose to get interested, I'd learn.
Hang on a second. Let me get into this with you for just a second. You would agree that men right now don't like lifting heavy shit.
No, that's why we built. That's why wheels existed, because we learned that we can roll things on them. It's a tool.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Why aren't they building then big, massive robots to do all this heavy lifting for them for things like roofing and things?
Probably because it gives them job
They
security.
have cranes.
They would still have job security.
Would they have job security if women were building the robots and didn't need men?
It's a matter
to
of
be a part
possibility.
it? I mean, I haven't answered the question yet. I don't think that, I think the world needs men and women. Obviously, we can't reproduce without sperm. I want to have a baby and I need a sperm donor to do so. Like, I'm not saying that I want a world eradicated of men.
Okay, we're going to assume that you have enough sperm on ice to repopulate with women only for 200 years.
Then, yeah, I don't think we need men.
Then it wouldn't be.
If sperm was off the table, I think that I respect the fact that a lot of women love men and want them in their life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I just have one last follow up on this, and then I'll let it go.
Yeah.
What is a solenoid?
I don't know.
Hang on. A solenoid. What is a solenoid? What is a solenoid? What is a solenoid? Solenoid? What is a solenoid? Solenoid?
I've heard my boyfriend say this, but I don't know.
Okay. Inside of your car, there's a battery. What voltage is it?
12.
What?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Bro.
I don't know anyway.
Okay.
12. I don't know. I wouldn't have known anyway.
So, last thing, right? Can you just tell me the steps of changing a tire?
Take off the lug nuts,
With
torque wrench,
a torque, okay.
take the lug nuts off, get the tire off, make sure your brake pads, everything is all good, put the tire back on, make sure you screw them all on.
What she said. I don't know. I haven't changed tire.
She forgot that you need to. Just
Forget what
do it
she
in
forgot. Just tell me what it is.
Okay, so you have to raise the car up on whatever side the tire's on, and then take the bolts off, take the tire off, put the new tire on, put the bolts back on, and then lower it down.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I could watch it on YouTube and learn in 5 minutes if I didn't.
I've done it.
So yeah, I believe you. I trust you over. Yeah.
Hey, I've never pretended this whole time. I'd love for a guy to change my tire. In fact, I think they should know how.
Do you know how
All
to change
power
a
to
tire?
them.
I personally don't even have a car, so I wouldn't know. But I've seen it. Yeah. I'll read the owner's manual and do what it tells me to do, like I did when I had to do it.
This last question, completely non-gendered. So you can't use the gendered norm expectation for it. Very simple question. How would you go about sharpening a knife?
How would I go about sharpening a knife?
Into the microphone.
You find it's a specific kind of stone that you can rub against the knife to sharpen it.
Okay.
I don't know the specific
How
stone.
would you go about sharpening a knife?
I would buy a knife sharpener.
That's what I was going to
Is
say.
this like assuming we have no tools? Or just like I have
Yeah,
a knife
how would
and
you
I
go
need
about
to
sharpening
it.
a knife? Yeah.
I mean, you use like a whetstone, right?
And then what do you do with it?
Sharpen it with the grain.
Okay.
Yeah, either buy a knife sharpener or use a whetstone and
How would you sharpen a knife on a whetstone? Walk me through it.
literally, like pretend that my fist is a stone and this is holding a knife. Keep doing that
At
and-
an angle.
At an angle, yeah. I don't know the actual terminology.
Do you
but
know what angle?
I can visually kind of figure out the angle
Not
through
completely.
practice.
So if you
but
can
I don't know it
visually,
off the top of my
you can
head.
visually think of it. So if I asked you to visually think of a 90-degree angle, can you give me a 90-degree angle with your hand?
Yeah, 90-degree angles.
Okay,
like,
so then you can visualize the angle. So what angle would you sharpen a knife at?
Whatever angle showed me results. I'd keep trying until I figure it out.
Sharpen a knife.
Yeah, I'm going with the sharpener technology, dude. Why
Sharpen a knife.
Definitely use a sharpener.
How? How would you sharpen it on a sharpener, a whetstone?
Same as they said, at an angle.
What
See, test
angle?
it out. To the side. I'd use each side first and then like see which works. 45-degree angle.
Okay, and then did anybody miss a step with the whetstone? It's called a whetstone.
Getting it what?
Wet it.
Okay, and just that's it. Those are the only questions that I had.
Okay. So I just want to hop in and say that look, I've said it from the beginning, I love men. Men and women are the yin and the yang.
Yeah,
We
but
need
she
each
was going to
other.
get an axe and build a boat and go to an
I know
island.
she was having a castaway Tom
Right?
Hanks moment,
Yeah.
yes. But I think it's completely ignorant to act like without men, women would just completely fail as a society. So many successful men acknowledge women and men, we have different strengths. I bring women into my business for this. They think in a way I don't. I think in a way they don't. You know, I had Dave Portnoy on my show, funny enough, when he was you mentioned your boyfriend with the Me Too thing. At the height of his Me Too scandal, when he was getting hit pieces on him, the whole thing. And he's like, am I a misogynist? I brought in a female CEO. It was the best decision I ever made to run Barstool because she was the best at the job.
You mean a media company?
What is the difference? Like, he has more power than the show.
It has nothing to do with survival or infrastructure.
He's talking. It is infrastructure. He's talking about.
Barstool Sports is an infrastructure company.
He's talking. He said if men were eradicated, civilization run by women would decline.
I mean,
we're not talking procreation. We're talking how things are run.
Yeah.
You're saying, are you?
What?
Are you if women can keep a home running, they can't keep a community running in some sense?
You keep a home running with electricity? No, I mean, you shake your head, but do you keep a home running with electricity?
Not to,
Am I a modern
but
day
even on an emotional level, like how many of you guys have experienced grandparents who have passed away when the grandmother passes away first and the men fall apart? They cannot survive. Like
that
men need women.
Nothing to do.
Yes,
so
it does.
If we're talking
Brian,
about
he
survival,
said it's survival. He's
hold
talking
on.
about okay.
Yes, the men would be sad if all the women disappeared.
I'm going to say
they would be sad.
50%.
They wouldn't even be.
I'm going to say 50%.
He's saying if women are if men were eradicated, the women would just totally, their civilization would.
Yes, it would crumble.
Collapse. Yeah,
it would crumble.
But the same is in reverse.
No. It would suck for men. Men would be very upset. But because men occupy these positions of when it comes to critical infrastructure, yeah, it would be terrible for men too.
Women engineers
there would be
don't
problems,
exist?
huh?
Women
almost
engineers
none.
and
Almost none in critical infrastructure jobs exist. Yeah.
So here,
maybe that's because of the way the patriarchy is created.
I feel like
I see truth in what you're saying, in that women may be naturally inclined to be in other sectors of work than men, right? Whether it be science or tech or whatever, that may be more male, male dominant. But that's just idiotic to act like.
Saying that it's idiotic, again.
But it is.
It doesn't. That's not an argument, though. An argument. So if you wanted to argue this,
you could also argue men are aggressive. They're naturally, fighters. You could also argue they'd take each other all the fuck out.
I don't think you could argue that, because we could do it now, and women couldn't stop it.
Please do.
I want to see a female roughneck.
I mean, so you wouldn't disagree, right? That if men collectively decided to take each other and women out, there's not anything women could do about that, right?
I disagree. I think women could stop that, yes.
Doing what? What could they do if men decided to do that? What could women do about it?
I think generally, I talk about the gender differences, right? Men are physical. Women and men who are strong and confident men will admit women are verbal, we're manipulative, we're cunning in a different way mentally.
Yeah, but you're changing this scenario, so let me try it again.
I'm not changing the scenario.
If men
women would use their minds.
collectively decided to do this.
Women would use their verbal ability, their manipulation, their whatever it is, to stop it.
And let's say men ignored all that. What could women do about it?
But that's predicated on men would ignore all that.
That's right. It's a hypothetical, which is predicated upon the conditional that they decided to do X thing. What could women do about it?
Run away? Like, that's pretty much it. I mean, we could think, but we could build together and then fight back. Like, I don't.
We could build a woman army. All we need is the technology. We don't need the bronze. We just need the tools, Queen. Like, we could all join together and have our own guns, and I could protect my home and my family from anyone.
Men are on the daily influenced by women and what women think, how they dress, how they act.
Sure.
So you're telling me if women are saying a certain thing, they're just going to be like, bye, bitch, and ignore them, except for maybe some of the
I don't know. Have you ever
in your comments? The dudes who watch my show, by the way,
do you
are
agree
awesome.
right this second that there is a huge swath of planet Earth where men not only dismiss what women say, but say, shut the fuck up and put on this hat or else? Do you agree or disagree with that?
Say that again?
That there's a large swath of this planet we currently live in and cultures where they go, shut the fuck up, I don't care about your opinion, now put on this little hat or else.
Of course, and how is that working out for them?
Fine.
I talked about Is it fine?
Yeah. Well,
you think
what I'm asking you is,
you want to go to Iran?
What I'm asking you isn't.
Come on.
What I'm asking you is, if men collectively, which they right this second do, not in hypothetical land, right this second they go, all of you are second-class citizens, like they do right now in large swaths of planet Earth. What can women do about that?
Get rid of as many of them as you can before they get
Let her answer.
Okay.
What can women do about that if men
fight
collectively...
against it?
How?
Do you want us to say that we can't do anything and want that?
Gonna make
No, I just want an argument.
They can fight however the fuck, kick, scream, tear, whatever the fuck. Don't.
Well, I don't understand. Why aren't the women over there doing that then? Fight, kicking, and tearing.
We fight back and we get murdered.
Right. So, because
but if
this
enough of
conceptualization that you have is on what's called force doctrine or force equalization. And there's no such thing. It's an illusion which is created in modernity. And women have forgotten force doctrine. I think they haven't. But most women have forgotten force doctrine and that men have a monopoly on force. And collectively, if men decide that women have no rights, they don't.
And you agree that's right.
I didn't say it's right. Hang on. When did I make the case it was right? When did I make the case it was right?
Whoever decided that men were superior to women?
Stop.
He's just saying that
I need you to engage with what I'm saying.
That's terrifying, but it's true. He's right that it would
Did
happen.
I say that it should be that way?
Yeah.
Why are you defending it?
Did I say it should be that way? Answer my question.
Yes, you believe in the patriarchy.
Did I say that means that women have to be second class? Did I say any of that? No, you just made all of that up. What I said is this specifically. If men is, not ought, two different things, is true versus ought should. I'm not saying should happen. I'm asking the question, is it true that if men collectively say tomorrow women have no more rights, that they don't? Is it true or isn't it?
Unfortunately,
it's not true.
Okay, so then what could women actually do about it?
What I just said.
Then how come in the nations where that is descriptively true now, they don't and can't?
They're fearful. Exactly. They absolutely could. They're out there. They protest.
Because of what men could do to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of
Who,
force,
by the way, are the ones caught in brothels.
Because of force.
Shit, but women have to be dressed.
But you're making my point because of force doctrine. So they're terrified.
I'm Persian Army.
They're terrified due to force doctrine. They're terrified that men can use overwhelming force to hurt them if they don't comply, right?
I, again, have never pretended like men aren't bigger and stronger biologically.
But this is my whole point.
Like, science.
So that I don't know what you're arguing, that if men collectively decided then that they did want to take all rights from women, that women really couldn't do much about that.
Well, why do you want us to admit that?
They can take rights away, but
that's what I'm wondering.
I'll explain.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Okay, so I think that the best state for a human being to be in is absent the state of delusion. Absent the state of delusion. And so when I hear people say things which clearly make no sense and are delusional, right, I will usually walk them through a thought exercise so that they can determine this core thing that I believe is built on a house of cards and is bullshit. This is how you change people's minds and how you change their worldview, by attacking the pillars in which their false beliefs are built. In this case, tons and tons of women in modernity do not want to acknowledge the difference in force doctrine, instead banking towards things that they don't even understand, like basic technology, solenoids, car volt battery. I mean, this is like really basic stuff. And most women in modernity don't know it because they don't have to know it. But even were we to take all of the collective information of men somehow and transfer it into the brains of women, now they know everything men know, right? To the letter, everything that men know. If men collectively, due to force doctrine, still decided that women would be second class to men, I still don't really know what women could do about that.
I kind of do, but I want you to talk.
I just guess we won't know until if that were to potentially happen.
But it's happening now.
No, I know, but I'm saying in America, if we're talking about America specifically.
Yeah, but
like,
I mean,
if this were, but I know that you're saying it's already happening.
It's already, well, it's the case now.
Fight.
No, I know, but that's what we're saying is that's the only option is to fight back or die. So it's confusing. I'm just wondering what's your point, because I agree with you that if men decided right now, then I would have no, unless we all rose up. But even in that, we don't know.
Yeah.
But what's the point? Like, why do you want women to authenticate that or validate that?
Well, I want to make sure that we're not living in a state of delusion where what's going on is that men are being taken for granted because women are living under a false belief that they can do what men can do. This is just one example of many where it's very clear that they cannot. And it's also a great example of the benevolence of men towards women, considering that they can do this, acknowledged by you, but don't.
I will validate. I totally agree that there are things in society that men, and I said this again, traditional gender norms, there are things I love. There are things I love about newer standards, whatever it is, the fusion of both, great. That's why I love, like I said, if I'm walking down the street, I love when my boyfriend is chivalry, right? He's protecting me so a car doesn't hit me. If someone breaks into my apartment, you bet your ass I'm going to want him there. Again, I'm not going to pretend to fight off some bear, right? Whatever it is. But at the same time, my hope and what I advocate for is for men, you say I don't want them to feel taken advantage of or shit on, right, for lack of a better word. I agree. However, I think that we really need to instill in men, and I feel like this is something everybody on this panel can and should agree on, to be good men, to be respectful, respect themselves, respect women, be strong and have dignity. Bill Maher just did a great segment on this.
That's the core of my argument.
Bill Maher just did a great segment on this, right, where he's more jokey, but he's like, dudes, like, get out of your mom's basement. It's like, stop jerking off.
So
like,
this
put,
is,
you know,
I don't care
ask
what
a woman out.
I don't care what dumb liberal Bill Maher said, but I'm going to go right against your argument because you got to the core of it. Now we're right at the core of the issue, right? My argument is saying men are already good and they're already benevolent.
How do you explain the comments?
Stop. Let me finish my argument, then respond.
You're
just
fair.
let you give yours.
That's fair.
My argument is they're already good and they're already benevolent because they already can do this and they don't. They don't do it and they can, but they don't.
So why don't they? Because it seems like we are on the same page.
They don't do it for a specific reason. And this is because men value ontologically human life, male and female. They value both sets of it. They also value the feelings of children. They value the feelings of women. They value the feelings of other men. They're not evil, in other words. They're not ontologically evil. And they don't believe women are ontologically evil.
Right.
That's why they, generally speaking, even in these societies which you would consider megala oppressive, when you talk to a lot of the women who are in those societies, they don't think that they're oppressed.
Well, they're brainwashed, but that's a different story.
Well, but they would argue the opposite.
I know they would. I've had conversations with some.
You're fucking brainwashed, right? This is great. I don't have to do shit. I'm treated like a princess.
Yeah, they exactly.
So then the question becomes, if they're not doing this, right? If they're not doing this and they're not oppressing you and they're not, but they could, doesn't that already lead you to believe that there's a benevolence in the patriarchy? Because if the roles were reversed, right? I'm not confident that women wouldn't say, we make the better choices, so you're all fucking second-class citizens. I'm not confident of that at all.
But we're generalizing here, right? Like, there are good women, bad women, good men, bad men. And I think, you know, while I empathize with men, like I've said on this panel, like, men have gotten shit on, so it's no wonder they're like, well, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what to do, you know what I mean? At the same time, it is like, dudes, like, well, don't buy into that. Step up. Step up and be a guy. Like, and at the end of the day, a lot of men aren't dating, having sex, going to college, being in the workforce.
Yeah, they don't want to be fucking degenerates. I know, it's terrible. Those bastards.
I will do one thing. We'll go back to the whole, like, what if all men disappeared thing. Nick, pull up a video really quick. Then somebody sent me in something that I want to read, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Go ahead.
I'm tired.
I'm pretty sure. Is it full screen? No, that's not what. Just can you bring it back to normal, please? Yeah. Okay. Is there 1080p? Can you check if it's 1080? Okay. No, it's just right there.
Yeah, it's 7 twice the highest.
Okay, go ahead. So this is a man who is working on electrical lines. It might not even necessarily be electrical lines. It could be some sort of other utility lines. Women don't do these jobs. women don't do these kind of jobs.
They can. They have two arms, 2 legs, a brain.
It's possible, but they choose not to do it. So the current, like this kind of job, we can look at other sort of utility jobs, other sort of infrastructure jobs.
They don't, but if we had to.
I was just
But here's the thing.
if a woman wanted to, she could.
Right, if you guys had years, and Andrew actually even disagrees with this, but I'll just grant, even if you had years and years to, put enough women into these positions, you could learn how to do it, etc. But the thing is, if in a scenario where snap, it wasn't expected, all men disappeared, yes,
Oh my
in
God,
that
we don't have
scenario,
power. Is that really the worst?
oh my God, we don't have power. This is the degree. Do you realize how important electricity is?
Yes, it's not like people didn't live before electricity.
Right, but
Was
people
it
were
harder?
adapted.
Yeah.
People were adapted and acclimated to living without electricity. Do you think people with their pampered asses and modern comforts and conveniences will be able to adapt? But that's just one component of it.